Before we go for creating other pages like the important playing pages, I want to create the login page, because after the users have signed up in the sign up page, have registered into our website, they would need to log in into their account so that they could start playing. But before that, I want to show you something else, because the login page would be so similar to the sign up, just except some modification, like for example in a login most of the people would need just the username and the password, and it doesn't have usually any difference with the sign up page. But what I want to show you is, before we move on to creating the login page, I want to check the sign up page that we have created using two different browsers. If you open our browser in the Linux 10.0.4.15 and then click on the sign up page in here, you see this is the page that we see in the Linux. But we are going to see it using the Kali Linux, using the Windows system. Since my Linux is installed on a virtual box on my system, which the host system is the Windows 7, the browser of the Kali has a smaller size, as I explained in the previous lecture. So the browser in the Linux doesn't cover all the screen as the browser in the Windows host does. So in here, because if I type ifconfig as a network hint, you see that I have multiple IP addresses. The ETH2 has 10.0.4.15, because the IP address of my Windows system in here, if I open my CMD and type ipconfig, you see that the IP address in here is equal to 192.168.1.44. So I bring up another NIC which has the IP address of 192.168.1.3, which sits in the same subnet as the Windows system does, even though you don't need to know this right now. So we go to the browser in the Windows system. This is my Firefox browser in the Windows system, and we type 192.168.1.3 and we hit enter. This is our website. If we click on the sign up in here, you see that it is different than what we see in the Linux. In here, if I open my browser, it is smaller than what we have in here. In the Windows, we have more space and also some differences that you could see in here. The problem with that is that in our code, if I just type cd var www and html, our code with the name of signup.html and also the sign.css, some of the times we have made pixel. So in here, for example, we checked the browser and saw if we bring this button, for example, 5 pixel in here, or we gave some sizes for the width and the height of these text in here in pixel, and by looking we make an assumption that, for example, this is enough or not. But what would happen if the screen is bigger in another browser? What would happen is that right now we see that we needed to make these boxes bigger than it was. So what we need to do is to never use pixels, but always use percent. For example, like the before in here that we started to create our different boxes, we started per big, because using percent, it doesn't matter how big is your browser or screen, it would always be the same in all different browsers. So for the login page, we are going to make some modifications which would convert, or we just want to convert all the pixels in size, especially for these text boxes in the percent format.